if you are under a snow squall watch or warning. So, Kasia, I mean, it doesn't look like 15 centimeters of snow coming down, but it's a beautiful kind of snow flurry this morning.
It is quite nice. It's nice and calm. The city is actually waking up now, so a little bit more activity. The light flurries, they're flying, Natalie, but actually on our way up, though, it was all about the drizzle. So the roads are still on the slick side, but nowhere near as annoying. I'm going to say annoying as the roads were yesterday. I got stuck in that traffic that you were mentioning, and I was just livid. So it was refreshing to just make our way up here quickly. The commute into the city of Toronto could be impacted by these flurries because it was heavier at times. So just a heads up there. And it is refreshing when it comes to the temperatures as well, because yesterday was so downright cold, whereas today, I mean, we're sitting at -1 here in Barrie. It feels closer to -5, very similar along the 401 corridor, but we could be reaching a daytime high here of 2, so at one point we're looking at, you know, a rain snow mix as well, so a little on the messy side. Natalie?
Although, Kasia, when you were driving from Oakville, from our station to Barrie, did you notice the change in conditions on the roads?
Oh, absolutely. It was certainly a little bit more mild further south, and we did have the drizzle going on for the entire way up here. So the roads are still slick, even though it's not a snowfall story there. Still on the slick side, so give yourself some extra time. Meanwhile, as soon as we arrived to Barrie this morning, 6 a.m., the snow started as if it was on cue. So I pulled out my massive hood. I have to recommend a big hood like this if you live in the snow belt. This helps, and it helps with the hair as well, if you don't mind me saying. Meanwhile, you mentioned the temperatures yesterday, Natalie, and I'm sure Mike, who was outside in my place, he was doing, as he calls it, the dorky dad dance. I don't need to be doing such dances right now. It feels like -5, which isn't so bad as long as you bundle up. It feels like -4 right now, closer to the city of Toronto, with a possibility of a rain snow mix as well. So a little on the slick side. Give yourself some extra time. That's our main point for today.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much, Kasia, for that. And we'll hear from Kasia coming up throughout this morning. Now, Barrie has the potential today to see about 2 to 5 centimeters of snow. And Kasia, it's looking beautiful behind you, but it was more so earlier this morning when the snow was coming down.
Oh, yeah, and they were big, beautiful, juicy flakes, Natalie, and they kind of ramped down right now, but that's okay. I'm okay with that personally. Yeah, but we could still be picking up some more snow, Natalie, as you mentioned, picking up, well, close to 4 centimeters by the day's end through this area. Not so much, though, closer to the 401 corridor. Less precipitation there. Meanwhile, it's all about the temperatures. What a big difference from yesterday, right? Yesterday was downright frigid. Today, much more mild, even though on Twitter people are saying, Kasia looks so cold. She's going to be cold out there. And it's so funny. I'm actually not cold, because one thing I took from my Polish mama, who's big on layering up, is, yeah, you gotta layer up. I've got 2 sweaters on under here and 2 pairs of pants, Natalie. Temperatures are sitting at -1. It feels closer to -5.
Kasia, I hope I don't embarrass you and yell at me later if you want, but I don't know if, well, maybe next segment, don't go anywhere. This is a great hook. I'm going to make her do her Polish mama voice. Have you heard her Polish accent before? You are in luck. So stay with us. In about 5 minutes, Kasia will be back, and I'm going to make her do the accent. And Kasia, don't let me down, girl, because I promoted to everyone earlier that you were going to do something in a Polish accent. So give us the weather.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Natalie, earlier I set this up by saying that what I learned from my Polish mama is to layer up. And yes, I do impressions of my mom. She doesn't mind, by the way, but please don't let this offend anybody. What my mother says is you wear sweater under sweater. You wear pants under your pants when it's this cold. And yesterday she referred to the weather as disgusting, way too cold. So today is so much better. And I did layer up nonetheless. Today temperatures are sitting around -1 right now here in Barrie, Ontario. Feels closer to -5. Very similar for you, closer to the 401 corridor. So it's not so cold, not like yesterday. The flurries, they were flying earlier. They could be still ramping up, though. We're not completely out of the woods when it comes to the lake effect up here, Natalie. Is that okay?
I love you. Thank you. You've made my morning, and perhaps anyone at home as well. Thanks to Kasia for playing along through the day today. But Kasia, the important thing is temperatures not nearly as cold as yesterday.
No, not at all. I mean, I wasn't lucky enough to be out there yesterday morning, but I did hear about Mike Arsenault doing the dorky dad dance. He was really cold. So I feel quite lucky to be out here. It's -1. It feels closer to -4 with a southwesterly flow. And Natalie, you mentioned the lake effect flurries. We did have that a little bit earlier here through Barrie, but it did ramp down. So it looks like the roads are a little bit better, still on the slick side. And by the way, on our way up here from our Oakville studios, we ran into a lot of drizzle. So the the roads are a little wet, so a little on the slick side. Natalie, last time you made me do an impression of my mom, and I got a phone call. I got scolded for it, and she says hi, by the way. Back to you inside.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll send your mom a little note. Thank you very much, Kasia. But if you missed it, it was very, very funny, and we love you. Mwah. Okay, so this afternoon. So for Kasia, I mean, you were right in that snow band in Barrie earlier this morning. How did that feel?
Yeah. It wasn't too bad, Natalie. It wasn't too intense. They were beautiful, light, juicy flakes, but they did certainly ramp down. And to answer your question about the songs, I just had to Google it as you were talking. The Gandharvas, First Day of Spring. Remember that song? I was grunge in the 90s, loved it. First Day of Spring, it gives us some hope, right? There's light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, we haven't even really hit winter yet. And of course, we're seeing the flurries. We're seeing the snow. Of course, yesterday we had problems on area highways. Over 100 accidents were reported. Today it should be a little bit better, although it could be on the slick side. We had a little drizzle on our way up here to Barrie, Ontario. And also the flurries will be continuing here. Temperatures are much better, so I don't have to sing any Summer of 69 or, Beach Boys to keep me warm. It feels like -5, though, right now in Barrie. Natalie?
Kasia, quick question before you go. Did I really get you in trouble with your mom? Am I in trouble?
No. No, you're not. Actually,
Okay.
She thought it was hilarious.
Okay,
She
good.
called immediately.
Okay, thank you very much,
No.
Kasia. She's been a good sport all morning long. We've been having a great time with it.
The Salters are out in full force here in Barrie, Ontario. We had the snow squalls. Actually, I wouldn't call them snow squalls. Lake effect flurries, and at points they were more juicy, thicker flakes, but we're not looking at anything, reducing visibility down to nothing. It's not going to be that kind of a day. Kasia Bodurka with you here. Barrie, Ontario, where temperatures are nice and mild today. In fact, we're looking at the possibility of a rain-snow mix into the afternoon because we're going to be above the freezing mark. Same thing goes for you closer to the city of Toronto, though we're not looking at anything in the way of active weather through the afternoon. Enjoy the day and enjoy the temperatures that are so much more mild than yesterday was. Chris, when you're live on location, it's not just about the weather. You got to make yourself useful. I'm helping the folks of the city of Barrie doing a little salting because we had some snow squalls earlier this morning, some lake effect flurries, I should call it instead. Kasia Bodurka with you here with a look at the flurries that continue to fly into the afternoon. We're expecting a good 2 to 4 centimeters of snow through this area. Lesser amounts the further south you go down the 401 corridor. We're not expecting anything in the way of active weather. Temperatures far more mild today. It's nice and comfortable already. Temperatures on the plus side of 0, so into the afternoon this could be transitioning into a rain-snow mix. I'm going to send it back to you inside because I've got some work to do, Chris.